Потрясающий вопрос. Скорее всего, я сейчас пойду классы лидерборда менять.
Ой, блин, ну ты... Честное слово, вот, блин, мне так... Вы молодцы, все, два слова.
Спасибо.
Молодцы, честное слово, вы работаете так сильно. Ну и... Я думаю, мы
А потом,
все это видим, мы, да, из комьюнити, и те, кто, ну, просто... Ну да, просто вот мы
да,
поддерживаем вас
абсолютно.
и, ну, хотим помочь как можем.
Спасибо. Правда, знаешь, вот типа после каждого стрима все такие молодцы. А потом заходишь в отзывы, и там смешанные.
Ну да,
Я
это
такой,
ж...
да еб.
Смотри,
Что?
с моей стороны это все смотрится так. Люди всегда, вот, что-то если не так, люди всегда готовы что-то сказать. А все, когда работает, все тихо сидят, всем
Да, это
нормально, да?
правда.
А как сразу, что случилось? О, все, блин, конец.
Ну, это,
Почему?
кстати, это правда, потому что я вот себе, когда монитор покупал, я обновлял монитор, и я нашел вот именно тот монитор, который мне нравится, вот который я хочу. Я открываю отзывы, и там ужасные отзывы. Там прям не то, что смешанные, там, ну, вот сломается на первом же этом. Я еще сидел как раз с коллегой, который занимает топ-1 сейчас в дрифт лидербордах. Мы сидели, общались, я такой, блин, вот хочу монитор, но вот у него отзывы смешанные. А вот есть монитор, который, ну, похожий, который я меньше хочу, но у него отзывы прекрасного. Вот ты бы что купил? Он такой, вот Саня, вот, говорит, вот ты когда... Ну, вот ты себе купил там, клавиатуру, да, заказал с Америки. Вот ты написал положительный отзыв? Я такой, нет. Он такой, а если бы она тебе пришла, ну, сломанная, ты бы написал отрицательно? Я говорю, да, вот такие вопросы.
Да.
Вот после этого я полностью изменил, уже язык заплетается, изменил свое видение всех отзывов. Я теперь, когда просто в Steam игры покупаю, я такой, ага, в основном отрицательные. Думаю, ладно, пойду сам посмотрю, что за игра.
Да.
В основном там печаль, беда, но я такой, ладно, хотя бы я сам проверил.
Ну да, да. Да, ну, смотри, не знаю, что сказать об этом, но я думаю, что, ну, с моей стороны, я могу сказать, что я вам доверяю, как, ну, вы-то делом этим занимаетесь профессионально. Некоторые, да, в комьюнити, может быть, кто-то занимается тоже этим профессионально, но они эту игру не разрабатывают, да, у них подход к этой игре с другой стороны вообще. Так что, когда, ну, честное слово, когда какой-то негатив приходит, и я когда всегда слышу, я всегда на это смотрю как снаружи, да. А вот я вижу, что они просто видят одну часть игры, да, и там что-то кнопка как-то не работает, или игра не запускается. Ну и для них, конечно же, это как доступ поиметь хорошее время, да. Это как вот еда, да. Если ты до еды не можешь добраться, ты будешь злиться, и ты будешь там вырывать или рваться, чтобы достать ее, знаешь, и просто мне так кажется, что вот те люди даже, которые негативно пишут, они очень так глубоко внедрились в игру, что когда что-то там не так, это просто их как, ну, разбивает так. Конечно же, это не для всех,
Ну да.
но да, каким-то образом это на них влияет. И, ну, конечно же, они будут
Да,
писать.
но так или иначе, нужно сказать, что мы все равно прислушиваемся к и негативным отзывам. Естественно, мы не закрываем глаза с фразой типа «не понравилось, свалите». По поводу вот последнего, что вот на нас обрушилось, да, вот этот античит. Ну, мы понимали, на что идем, мы понимали, почему и зачем нам это нужно. Мы понимали, что мы столкнемся с резким негативом, но, к сожалению, вот эти все огромные новые мультиплеерные режимы и системы рейтинга, и лобби, вот эти гонки, они не будут работать, если у тебя ты едешь там в рейтинговом режиме, там, хочешь получить максимально высокие ранг, или тебя просто там в заезде сбивает какая-нибудь Тесла, у которой там 1 000 000 сил под капотом, и которая весит 40 тонн, тип тебя сбил просто потому, что, ну, естественно, это будет ужасно.
Да, да.
Поэтому нам пришлось его добавить, потому что, ну, вот как я уже сказал, 10 человек, у каждого человека по очень много задач, мы не сможем справиться просто с как-то security design.
Ну да.
Не знаю, как это,
Ну понятно, да.
как на русском будет эта история называться. Вот, поэтому, да, пришлось прийти к сторонним методам. Но,
Хорошо.
тем не менее, вот как раз по негативным отзывам мы нашли тот аспект игры, который для нас был до этого скрыт, то, что есть очень много игроков, которым не важен мультиплеер, которые просто заходят, такие, я хочу себе 1 000 000 валюты, и я хочу сидеть, крутить машинки. И когда ты разработчик, это немножко неожиданная для тебя сторона. Когда игрок, как бы, ну, очевидно же, да, что хочется зайти, покрутить. Но когда ты разработчик, это немножко неочевидная сторона, про которую ты просто забываешь со временем, вот чем ты дальше работаешь в компании, тем сильнее это размывается, потому что у тебя там строго фича за фичой, user flow, и как бы особые такие вот аспекты, они начинают вываливаться. То, что кто-то хочет вот именно вот с этой стороны зайти, чтобы не навредить другим, а сделать себе поприятнее. И вот как раз вчера, сегодня суббота, значит, в четверг я сел и до часу ночи концептировал, как можно сделать так, чтобы разделить игру на офлайн, как вот сейчас просят игроки, и онлайн. И это тоже супер сложно оказалось, чтобы читеры не пробрались, потому что читеры довольно уже глубоко в игре, и, в принципе, как бы ребята сидят с сознанием, с пониманием того, как что работает, как что делать. И человек с циферкой 74 на аватарке, я не могу его выговорить, к сожалению. Не даст мне соврать.
Дайжи.
Да. Вот у него есть эти машины, потому что он получает их как раз от клана Шрада. И как бы пока он не в лидербордах и не мешает другим, это окей. Ладно, фанься, веселись, welcome. Но вот как вот это отделить, как это разделить, потому что есть люди, которые начинают с фана, а продолжают гриферством.
Да.
И там буквально один шаг у этого человека. Просто взять машину 40 тонн. И вот мы стараемся вот сейчас как бы разделить эту всю историю. И это очень сложно, потому что вот то, как нужно сделать по-хорошему, это супер сложно. То, как можно сделать просто, чтобы было, это супер уязвимо. И поэтому вот мы на таком перепутье с этим античитом, что непонятно, что дальше делать.
Понятно. Фух. Тяжело быть разработчиком. Подожди.
Очень. Задача сидеть на 2 стульях.
Да, мы думали, вы там просто сидите и что-то печатаете. Вау, так это нормально.
Чтоб ты понимал, как раз, когда я вот этим защитой занимался, дизайн security, я уже не выдержал, пошел у нейросети, тоже начал какие-то советы спрашивать. Я такой, вот моя идея, улучши ее. И вот, я не знаю, минут 40 сидел, генерировал промпты, и в какой-то момент, это был DeepSeek, там, когда нажимаешь на кнопку «Глубокое мышление», он пишет, о чем думает нейросеть. И в какой-то момент, чтобы ты понимал, нейросеть сорвалась на меня в своих мыслях. Пользователь хочет посидеть на 2 стульях, а это невозможно. Ему не помочь. Точно.
Вау.
Я в этот момент был не просто шокирован, я был раздосадован. Скорее всего, да. Тут реально не усидеть на 2 стульях, и нужно что-то одно решать.
Да.
Потому что, конечно, стоит задача максимально в максимально сжатые сроки, да, ну, потому что мы не можем позволить себе полгода заниматься одной какой-то историей, потому что это, ну, минус один программист на полгода. В максимально сжатые сроки нужно сделать максимально легкую задачу, которая покроет полностью всю безопасность и при этом разделит онлайн и офлайн. Дипсик такой: дядя, иди проспись, тебе, по-моему, плохо.
Да, не усложняй ситуацию так, да?
Да-да-да, как говорится, нет истории. Я не знаю, ты давно переехал же, вроде как ты говорил. И ты знаешь шутку про два стула? На одном пике точеные, ну, на другом. Не они, так скажем.
На одном что и на другом что? Я пропустил.
На одном пике точеные, а на другом, ну, кое-что другое.
Ага.
Вот слышал такую шутку?
Такую еще нет.
Ладно, тогда... Российская команда уже смеется, да. И как бы нейросеть сказала, что выбери один из стульев. Ну вот. Куда сядешь? В общем...
Да, понятно. Все
такая
понятно.
история.
Хорошо. Ну давай. Ай. Ну что ж я могу об этом сказать? Не садись, стой, смотри. Наблюдай.
А нельзя. Сзади игрок уже приближается. Он тоже хочет на стул посадиться совсем, но не на тот, у которого позитивный выбор. Игрок уже шепчет просто на ушко: садись.
Садись.
Выбирай стол, садись.
Вот этот выбирай, вот этот.
Как в игре кальмаров. Просто нужно что-то решить.
На тот не смотри, вот сюда смотри. Ай, блин. Ай. Ну чё, наверное, тебя надо отпустить.
Да я еще посижу, послушаю.
Давай.
Посмотрю, что в чате будет писать.
Давай.
Сойдемся.
Давай я сейчас тут допишу твои слова, которые я тут выписывал, пока ты тут рассказывал. Я сейчас тут тихо посижу. I'm just gonna finish kind of translating a few of the other little things, taking some notes on the things that he was saying, and I will start speaking in English. But, you know, we're just kind of chilling now, so if there's anybody that wants to come to the stage, Ivek is open to just kind of hanging out a little bit more, he said. So if anybody wants to jump in, just raise your hand and I can bring you to the stage if you want to guys talk about it. But yeah, we're kind of just trying to wind down a little bit because it's 2 a.m., but apparently he's probably not going to be going to bed. I asked him if he's going to sleep and if he's going to sleep well tonight, and he said, actually, I'm not going to sleep. I'm probably going to go work on the time attacks. So that's his situation. So if you guys give me a moment, I'm going to finish these notes about these questions. My God, you guys type so much. I guess you're not talking. You probably think we talk even more. Like, what the hell? Oh, where's my question list? There it is. Okay. Okay. So this question list that we've been kind of working through for the last hour, more than an hour at this point. So as far as so everybody has been asking about this. Everybody has been wondering, what are these cars in the dealership that are event cars that are inaccessible? Well, those cars are basically statues at this point. They are only there to be looked at. They are not tied to any events or anything. They basically, from what I understand, when they had ported the game over to PC, those cars were left over, and I believe the physics, if I understood this correctly, as he was saying, that the physics on those cars or something in those cars doesn't work right with the PC version. So basically, yes, they just stopped, or had no interest to bring those specific quote unquote event cars into the PC version. So they thought that maybe that it would be able to serve as like a, when people are scrolling through the dealership trying to find their next car or something, because those cars are modified and they are pretty beautiful to look at. It can actually give some ideas to people that don't really know how deep the styling is in the game. So it kind of gives them a slight preview of what is possible to accomplish in the game. And so at this point, they are just going to be there as statues to look beautiful. And, I did mention that, maybe you guys should move it to the city and somewhere. And that's when he said, yeah, but that's going to tank the optimization. And yeah, so, and then we got off on a little tangent about optimization and how, that's kind of what everybody's always crying and screaming for, that, we want to have the game more optimized. And, of course, that is something that they're working on constantly because, it's just the nature of game development is constant optimization. And so, they're working on that all the time. As far as the event cars are done. So the livery sharing system that is already on mobile is actually being developed, as basically we're speaking. That's being worked on. And so, that's, of course, making its way into the game. Oh my gosh. Так. Yeah, so liveries are coming. The livery sharing system is coming, and it's being worked on. Players want the matchmaking for online. Okay, so as far as like players wanting more access to be able to race each other, rather than just be tied to one lobby, the question here asks, players want the matchmaking for online races to have a wider reach to other players across different lobbies. Is that possible? So basically, this new game mode that they are working on is going to bring something like that, but even better. And so basically, you will be able to join a wait list, and you will be kind of in the queue, right, to participate in the next event. and you can be in that queue for as long as possible, and the events will just keep rolling and rolling and rolling. And so, yeah. And whenever you are finished with your time in that kind of event, that continuous queue, you can just leave, and basically a new person will take your spot at the same time. So it will just be like a continuous loop of events that players can participate in. And that is what's being developed. Also, lots of things under development, as you guys can see, which is good, I think, from my perspective. It gives me something to wait for and look forward to. Okay, and then the report system not working. So somebody apparently so whenever you write the report, you can push enter to send the report. So for whatever reason, somebody decided to change the button associated with the report sending. And so basically, yes, you are still able to read or to send reports, because Ivek here has been reading some of the most recent ones lately. And anyway, you just have to press and hold R to send the report. So you write up your report and then push and hold R, and it will send it away. So it does still work. It just has a bug that a button bug, I guess you could say. Let's see. Okay. Do you have any? And as far as do you have any more plans for players achieving endgame? If so, what can you say? You know, we've basically touched on a lot of that already, and that is something that they're constantly developing and working on, because they see the value in the players that can stay, and that's pretty much already part of their kind of game plan, is to create things that will keep people playing the game. And then, are you able to share or know the data for which regions access your game more often? I'm just, he's sending me messages at the same time, and it's funny. So are you able to share or know the data for which regions access your game more often? And basically, the answer for that is every single platform that the game is on has its own kind of unique top regions that people access those games from. For the PC version, it's basically United States, Russia, and then the European Union countries. And then for Xbox, it's like USA, the European countries, then Russia, then Japan. And then when the PlayStation is going to be released, it will probably be in reverse of what Xbox is. So it'll be like Japan, Russia, Europe, USA, as far as people accessing the game. And on mobile, I completely missed it and didn't note it down at all. So I cannot remember what he said. So if there's any mobile players, forgive me. However, you are getting the developers' love right now, because they're working hard. They're putting dynamic weather on hold for optimizing the mobile version. And if anybody is out there that is a mobile player that has been thinking that the devs are ignoring the mobile side, it's actually the contrary. They're ignoring the PC version to make the mobile version more optimized. And yeah, so I can already hear the PC players crying when they get that news. So it's been true. They don't care about it's a money grab. They just care about money. That's why they're optimizing mobile. Anyway, but and then is it possible to have weight added to the wheel for different sizes? So the different sizes of the wheels in the tuning shop already actually do have different weight. Up to 17-inch wheel is the same weight, and then everything after that it increases. He wasn't able to pin down the exact proportions, but there is a consistent increase in the weight after the 17-inch rim size. So yeah, let's see. What did we talk about at the end that we were laughing about? Oh, there was just some joke, some Russian joke that is like hard to explain in English, but basically the developer has to choose which chair he has to sit on and continue working, because the developer sits in the chair and that's where he works. And so one of the chairs has large metal spikes and the other chair has, you guys can probably guess it, the other thing that is like a spike, but so, and he has to sit and he has to work, and so either way he's pretty much getting he's in a bad position either way. How about that? And he's just doing his best on that chair and just trying to focus on the work regardless of the pain that the chair is causing. So yeah, that's kind of the joke that we were laughing about. I was not, even though I am Russian and was born in Russia, clearly I've been in the United States way too long, or that joke is way too new because I had no idea, so he kind of broke it down, and whoever is Russian was basically already laughing in the chat earlier because as he was explaining it. Yeah, anyway. That is our session for today, guys. That's pretty much all I've got to translate. We, both of the devs so far, I guess from my perspective, I will say, have seemingly enjoyed their time, or at least put on the mask that they are enjoying their time. But I think I will probably speak for everyone in the community that, or at least everyone in the European community and probably even the gaming community as a whole, having these dev meetings is really nice. And even if it's not frequent, maybe like once every 2 weeks, or maybe once a month, if we can have these conversations, I think everyone will be much more in tune with each other, I guess, and be able to communicate with the devs. Granted, there are 10 of them that are working on less than 10 of them working on this project. So that's just that. And if you guys want to raise your, hey, Tiger Silver, okay, I see somebody's hand is raised. I'll just bring you to the stage. You can talk a little bit if you'd like. But yeah, if anybody else wants to jump in and ask something direct, within reason, of course, like, let's just be respectful and not...
Caught me mid-cigarette rip, but I almost coughed. I was taking a drag. I wasn't prepared.
Sure.
Was there anything? Oh, hi, Nitrous. Was there anything in the dev notes that said they had the idea to actually make it so that players can make their own clubs and have club racing from the player's perspective rather than, if you understand what I mean, i.e. like a more advanced multiplayer interface?
So one of the things that he did touch on that you just reminded me of, if I can speak just for a sec, Ivek, just so you don't have to answer that again, but basically what he mentioned earlier is that in terms of the end game, this was in regards to the end game thing, but basically they are continuing to expand the multiplayer options. And so that is, multiplayer is basically going to be their most important aspect on the PC side. That's really what they're pushing for. That's going to be like the main thing about this game is the different type of multiplayer options that you can have. So
I would like to interject real quick.
Sure.
Just a quick thing is I'm glad that this whole thing existed, and I'm actually very surprised that it actually lasted more than 5 hours.
I have not been here for most of it. That's why
it literally went on for about to reach 6 hours right now, which is absolutely insane. I did take some breaks from it, even though I was still in it. Just took some breaks here and there when people got their turns, and I'm not gonna lie, there were definitely some people that I'm like, my brother, move on. All right, you've been here for how long now?
Yeah.
Can we get other people to get their turn? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But also, I really do hope that this can be a frequent thing, like you said, whether it be bi-weekly or every month. I really, really, really would love that.
I don't disagree with the monthly thing. That'd be kind of cool to get a little dev talk once a month, just to be like, hey, this is what we're working on. Not as an announcement. You can ask about it and even suggest things that we could do to make it more advanced, or things that might make it easier.
I'm actually surprised nobody thought of 16-player races. I'm like, I like to race with more people.
Well,
I don't want limited.
Yeah, the thing that is something that was brought up as well, and that is one thing.
I'm not going to disagree with the idea of a 16-player race. It's not a bad idea, but it definitely would have to be for example, the Black Lotus final boss race. That race is long enough you could have 16 people in it. I don't think you could have 16 people running a tiny circuit race.
Oh, guarantee you can. Guarantee you can definitely fit 16 people in those tiny little circuit races. They just have to work.
I mean, if they were at the track, I'd understand. If they made it so that certain races, for example, the ones at the racetrack, could handle 16 people, it'd be very interesting to see 16 cars lined up on a racing start. I would find that phenomenal.
I mean, the Speedway has that. The Speedway has those slots. The inner track, the smaller inner track, I guess, if that's what.
The outer track also has them. It's at the race starting line.
Oh,
there's an
yeah,
actual
you're
race
right.
starting line.
You're right. It's got the grid.
It's got the grid, yes, and it also has a pit lane, which this is a really weird suggestion. I think it may be a little advanced. The Crew Motorfest did it. I think it would be interesting in some of the track races in multiplayer, to force the drivers to pit. If there is, set a lap amount, force the drivers to pit and get gas or tires.
I feel like it would be a little...
Hold on a sec, guys. I'm going to just interject here. This is actually super important that Daiji brought this up. We need a final say on this, Ivek. Короче, нам надо последнее слово от вас насчет клатч. Manual. So, ты знаешь ситуацию.
Я сразу понял, да, то, что на половинку выжимают клатч, и из-за этого молниеносно щелкает.
Есть такое, да, а есть еще вот в Steam есть Steam Overlay Input. Там можно зарегистрировать одну кнопку на две, например, да?
Да.
И и сейчас вот большой у нас был такой в комьюнити после вот Easy Anti-Cheat, когда вы включили, да? Много игроков, короче, не поняли, почему это вообще было включено, да? Потому что все равно те игроки, которые используют Steam как Steam Overlay, да, для своего пульта управления, они читают, потому что, они зарегистрировали, понятно, да?
Да, я понял.
Что вы, со стороны developers, надо нам знать, как вы на это смотрите. Да.
Ужасно. Смотрим. В общем, проблема эта с нами давно, и вот это вот то, что сейчас на 50% нужно обязательно выжать сцепление, это было быстрое решение, которое как-то прижилось, но со временем, да, оказалось так, что и можно ездить на половину выжатом сцеплении, и можно через Steam Overlay запинить макрос. И, в принципе, клавиатуру уже макросы поддерживают. Поэтому мы смотрим, как это можно решить так, чтобы избавиться от этой всей истории раз и навсегда. Но при этом есть такой момент, что когда мы делали такое, чтобы там нужно было выжать обязательно сцепление на 100%, чтобы переключиться. Но когда ты ездишь на руле, тут драйвинг вилл, как он там, как системы называются, не помню. Появляется такое, что ты не всегда можешь дожать, уже щелкнуть, особенно если у тебя какой-нибудь H-шифтер, щелкнуть с первой, допустим, на вторую, а у тебя все равно остается первая. И тут вот очень сложный такой момент, потому что не всегда можно среагировать, так скажем. Игрок не всегда может успеть среагировать. Да. Прям в идеальные тайминги попадать. Сейчас есть идея, мы вот тестировали, потихонечку это было введено. Мы сейчас, по-моему, на, 65 или 75% сцепление уже фактически отжимается. То есть у тебя машина перестает полностью ускоряться, а там обороты начинают подниматься. В общем, бесполезно ездить на таком. Во-первых, мы сейчас поднимем процент выжима сцепления вот до такого состояния, чтобы уже у тебя коробка как бы с мотором начала разделяться. Но пока что это нас не спасет от макроса. И вот как с макросом сражаться, господи, я просто... Подожди, я закрою с тобой, а то у меня там биться, сражаться из фоток. И получается такое, что с макросами непонятно, как работать, потому что на клавиатуре с одной стороны ты как игрок достаточно скилловый, можешь одновременно две кнопки нажать, и это будет, можно ли это считать как использование макроса, или это достаточно скилловый игрок? Потому что, с одной стороны, достаточно скилловый игрок. С другой стороны, там какая-нибудь полная защита от макроса просто, не даст переключиться такому игроку. И вот эта тонкая грань, между которой нам предстоит пройти, остается пока не совсем определенной, как идеально пройти вот эти все моменты. Потому что, ладно, с выжимом сцепления, допустим, понятно, но что делать с макросами, не совсем. Возможно, пойдем по пути такого, что когда ты нажимаешь, допустим, мы смотрим, что ты нажал одновременно, там плюс-минус две кнопки, то мы тебя просто переключим так, как было, так, как должно быть, то есть не молниеносно, а все равно через какое-то там время вот этого переключения, которое у тебя описано в настройках машины.
Понятно.
Вот.
Так что, если можно так сказать, если я могу перебить, да, вот насчет макрос и этого всего, как разработчики, да, как компания, да, если так можно сказать, вы против этого, да? Что вы как...
Ну да.
Окей.
Да.
Да.
Понятное дело, давай так, на текущий момент мы за это не баним, потому что
Да.
просто без этого невозможно заехать, и мы всех отследить не сможем. Как бы окей, пока это в рамках фейерплей, но... Ну мы, ладно, будем так говорить, что мы и не будем банить за это,
Ну да.
но мы будем с этим бороться.
Ну да, да. Да, просто знаешь, вот так сейчас такие идут разговоры, потому что некоторые, ну и многая часть тех людей, которые находятся на топе, они используют макрос, да?
Да. Ну, макрос либо полувыжим.
Ну или там ну да.
Там без этого не заехать.
Да, да. За такие, ну, на такие времена, короче, просто так не заедешь.
Да.
И вот
поэтому...
и из-за этого у нас, ну, в комьюнити такой сейчас был раздел, да, можно так сказать, да, те, которые думают, что это все честно, потому что, ну, в одной игре ты так можешь делать, и какая проблема с этой игрой, а, ну, на самом деле с этой игрой это, ну, не работает не так, как в другой игре, так что это проблема на самом деле, знаешь, и такое вот...
Ну, да. Мне почему-то даже кто-то подсказывает, что я знаю людей, с которыми ты общался.
Ну да,
Потому
конечно...
что у меня тоже недавно такой же диалог был.
Да. У нас, можно сказать, этот Sunset City Hub, тут все игроки, которые, ну, некоторые уже ушли, потому что тут, знаешь, идут разборки, и, ну, людям не нравится, как позиции там насчет всяких разных, ну, о делах про игру, да? Не что персонально, а все про игру. И люди просто, ну, сюда фильтруются. Можно сказать, большую часть игроков здесь. И с русской комьюнити у нас, и модеры сидят, и, ну, и вот девы заходят и находят нас. Так что у нас, можно так сказать, здесь все, и все здесь что-то сказали в какое-то время. Так что да. Ну, может быть и так, что да, у тебя, ну, те же самые люди, мы о том же самом говорим, потому что, ну, комьюнити-то не 30 тысяч, не 100 тысяч, а, ну, там 10, да, например, активно, если так можно сказать. Так что, да. Просто вот хочется подтвердить. Так что давай я сейчас переведу немножко. So, Daiji, about the clutch. So, unofficially, the company, I just have to say it like this. Unofficially, right, the company is against having macros being used in their game. Because it does remove certain aspects and makes it easier for the player. That is an unofficial, I say that as an unofficial statement because it's not been officially kind of, you know, put out there by the company themselves. You know, this is like in our server, even though pretty much everyone is part of this server that's in the community of CarX Street. So, you know, but still it's an unofficial kind of thing. However, at this point in time, they're not going to be banning anybody for it because they honestly just don't know how to deal with it. Because the way that those things work, it's a big thing, I guess. And it's been a problem pretty much since the very beginning. And one of the things that they are doing to kind of eliminate some of the problems, because there is a kind of exploit, right now where you can bind your clutch and do like halfway actuation, because so in order to combat that, I guess, or to not combat it, but in order to resolve that issue, they will increase the pressure that is required for clutch actuation. So, you know, before it actually switches before it actuates and binds the gear with the motor, there will have to be more force applied to the clutch pedal to get it to that. So that's the solution for the clutch actuation exploit. But as far as the macros go, right now they're not sure of how to approach that fully, and they're just exploring how to how to resolve that kind of issue, because it's not something that they want in their game.
Just take it a couple patches back, bring back how it was in the beginning days, where if you actually did use manual gears with manual clutch, the clutch would automatically shift anyway, so you have instant shifts, and everybody was able to do it nonchalant.
Yeah, they're I think like one of the things that he mentioned, like that when you actually push the button, like if you have the macros activated, this is one of the things that they're kind of exploring, is if you do have the macros activated and you are pushing that one button, the game will basically register that input as a normal shift, like without that instantaneous thing. It will just shift like an automatic transmission, basically, without the clutch, even though you do have the clutch bound thing going on. So yeah, pretty much it on that.
I have a question.
You go first.
I wanted to know if you guys would even entertain the idea of. I got two questions. This the first one, but entertain the idea of have a proximity chat in the game. I think that'll make the experience way much more enjoyable. Just being able to pull up on someone and they can hear me, or vice versa. I'm going away and you can hear the effects of the voice like fading out because of the speed and the distance.
All I can picture is somebody just going like, "Hey, what's happening?"
Exactly. That'll help, with engagement for people to come on the game, want to do the meetups, like it just add more, more activity in the game. And then like, I stopped playing the game regularly. Like I play it as a cop, and it's so fucking fun to be able to like, just go and mess with people. But I was like, man, this would be great if you guys already got the game mode where you could race for pink slips. But what if they had like a quick action mode where someone drive past a police car, like if it was me, and then I had the challenge up and they accept it, and they go into like some type of like mini tag game where I have to try to go catch him, and if I do catch him, I get a reward of like, I don't know, $1,000 or something like that. Being able to do like stuff like that, because I did a whole video on it. I had like maybe like 3 police officers, and it was a great experience because like we was like doing the same thing officers do, with set out traps. One person get here, there, and then we just go get the people. And like we had like, I think it was like 10 people in the server, and like all of them was started to catch on, and before you know it, everybody was like making sure they slow up before they get to us, or if they go fast, like they already know we coming after them. It was like such a fun experience. I like, man, I think that you guys should entertain that. I feel like it would. I don't know how much work it'll be around the proximity chat, and had no mini games on there, but just to add some more for players to be able to do, instead of just driving around drifting the same.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on. I'm gonna actually join you in that if you don't mind. If that's all right.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So my friends actually, I'm in a party on Xbox. My friends brought up a good question, but I'm actually gonna jump on yours because I actually mentioned this in the initial thread that was made. I made a list. I think everyone might have seen it because I was studying to be a game developer. Doesn't mean I like it. No, I hate it. I hate game development. It's a pain. So the proximity chat thing is a great idea. I think, this is a suggestion, I think there should be multiplayer only clubs. Not as in player run clubs. I mean clubs that you can only run with your friends and online. Maybe a few of them, not a lot, just like a club per area. They're indistinct, not named, or just like, or rather than saying clubs, maybe actual StreetNet hosting. Because like StreetNet, it says when you're in a multiplayer session, it'll pop up the StreetNet races and be like, StreetNet Club is hosting this. And they give you the random car, right? I think it would be really interesting if you were in a multiplayer session and there was a club per area. But instead of them being like a club, it was just a racing hosting ground where you could take the hosting ground and do stuff at the hosting ground with your friends and race AI cars and not just your friends.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah,
it's just,
like for
not
example,
enough. Like,
for example, like, oh, let's have one at the inner track and the outer track. Okay, that's fair. Have one in the mountains. We already have races that pop up over there, and then have one in the city. There's 4 clubs right there, but they're simply just so that we can just run the ones with our friends with AI there and, have that enjoyable experience. For example, the city one could take you on the highway. The mountain one could be like a group drifting one.
You know who got something like that didn't fully capitalize? Crew 2. And I'm going to just say,
and then Need for Speed Unbound did not capitalize.
Yeah. I'm gonna lie, I definitely started playing Crew 2 after I got bored of CarX, which I really love CarX. Like, I would be a fan, like a diehard fan, if they just add more activities in there. Just more activities in there. Yeah.
I want the ability to. I've mentioned this. I want the ability to invite my friends to my offline session and to fucking run clubs with them, rather than going into a full private session. Because private sessions, they're cool. I find them useful. I think they're interesting. But I want the ability to say, so my buddy and I, we beat Wild Juniors. Okay, well, I want to run elite club races with him. Well, how would that work? All right, well, he takes the slot of an AI. Okay, well, what happens if you win? Well, if I win, he's on my team. He's in my club. We are 2 club challengers together as a team. Okay, well, what does that mean? Well, one of us wins, we win. Kind of like the crew.
Yeah, that cooperation. Yeah,
or crew.
Like that.
2K, do you have
your
a...
team.
Sorry.
Now, mind you, you have... That might be a little difficult to program, or it might just be difficult to figure out how that could work. I think it would be whoever gets first place gets a larger cut, second place gets a smaller cut. So the dude in first place has the 2 times multiplayer. He gets jumped up 2 races, right, in the elite race system. The other guy, even if he has the 2 times multiplayer, whoever gets second place on your team only gets 1 race off of it. So if he's hosting, he gets the 2. Now, mind you, that sounds a little unfair, but I think that would be the best way to balance it so that it's not you just sitting there with your homie running every elite race for you. You have to actually put in the effort or be the one to host. But then you're putting in the effort to win. Because if both of you get second and third, you both get dropped a level. There's no winning there. You lose no matter what. So one of you has to win. Because if you ain't first, you're last. Second place, first place for losers. So
I think definitely more game modes, more like stuff to do in there, because like me and my guy, we get in there every now and then. We'll race, but our sessions probably end about like a good 30 minutes, because it's just like maybe 30 minutes to an hour versus like, if they have more connectivity, more game modes and stuff like that. I feel like people will be in there a lot more, especially that proximity chat. I really think you guys should look at, because I mean, you guys will be one up from Forza and any other game, because no one has done it yet. I don't know why, because it'll be a great.
They're just making a public in-game chat. Just make it so that I can go into game chat and talk to everyone in.
Like, I don't understand why that's not in there, because I mean, again,
like we already have a phone. It should be it would be interesting to have on the phone screen when you're in multiplayer an option to toggle game chat
And
and
put
be
some
able to
police
talk.
in there, man. We gotta have some police in there. Either let us be the police as role players, or put some police in there. Period.
If I remember correct, EA, correct me if I'm wrong. I just realized your name is 88. That's funny. Correct me if I'm wrong. I have been told they are developing a police thing. Is that correct?
Yeah. And he kind of confirmed it also earlier in the conversation that they are already working on police and how that will work. And the reason why it's taking so long is, well, for what?
You only have to You're not going to be able to make it in a fucking day. I'm not going to rip on you guys.
Right.
I'm not going to rip on the depths of this game.
And also, they're like a dev team at 10 or less.
Yeah, dev team of
exactly.
10 or
I'm not
less.
gonna rip on them when they've made a game that is as... This is a really, really hot take. Anyone can call me on these words. This game has as much care and love to put into it as a black box racing game.
Like, I'm still recruiting people to play it because this is.
Yeah, and so am I. And the city. This is my greatest compliment to Avik. Your city is beautifully designed so I can actually drive my car and race. I have been saying this for years. I hate modern racing games. I play Forza. I played the Crew Motorfest. I played the Crew 2. I've played Forza Horizon 4. The last time I saw a map built to run, race, drift, and just do anything was Forza Horizon 3. And even then, that map was made to be pretty, and I hated it. I love Australia from FH3, but it is not the same as going to CarX and finding that they have designed meticulously, beautifully, a city with so many different car culture styles, racing styles, and put it into a game and made it flow so cohesively. I can go from running the highway with my buddies, running through traffic, to drifting a mountain pass at any time I want. Or go to a racetrack and run track runs and have a track-built purpose car. There's no game I have like that on the market right now. I can go to the Crew Motorfest and somewhat do that, but that map is not designed the same way this map has, where I can go and do stupid things with my friends, and my car will be able to actually do what I want it to, and the map is designed around the cars, not the other way around.
There's something that I want to add to that. With how the map is, I agree with everything that Trigger says. There's also another part of the reason why I practically nonstop play this game every day ever since it came out on the PC. And it was the freedom. It was the freedom of the customization you can do to each and every car. And as each update progressed, we caught up with the mobile version where they had the ability to swap any engine into any vehicle. And this is literally the only game that I've played without mods so far that allows you to fully customize a car from the engine to the transmission to even the width of the wheels to make it as big as you want, though there was deficits with the tractor builds, but everybody's thinking of their own ways to combat it, because even I don't like it. But I just like the fact that you can actually make any car control how you want. When you really learn how to tune the cars down for a racing standard or a drifting standard, the differences between them really, you realize that they're not very different, because the only things that would differ each car at that point, since any car can have any engine, any width, and any customization, it's just the width.
I'm gonna counterpoint
the weight and the arrow.
I have noticed some cars drive so vastly different than others. So I am someone who has almost collected every car in the game, other than the time attack cars, the leaderboards, which I want to get to that eventually. But I do want to bring up my friend's point with the customization. But I will actually counterpoint you. I have noticed a lot of cars drive differently. For example, I have a Charger, and I'm not talking a modern Charger. I'm talking a 72 Dodge Charger, that wants to kill me anytime I try driving it. And
It has a low downforce.
Oh, no, it's got great downforce. I've done everything I can to
It
try to
does
save my
not.
life.
That's an old car. No, it does
Oh,
not.
no. I mean, tuning-wise, it's got great downforce. Physically, no, not at all. No, I have noticed, even after putting new suspension in, new dampers, new brakes, everything, that thing still drives like it's a boat from the 70s where it's, where, you know, the springs are leaf springs and the car wants to kill me when I corner.
Is it whenever your car wants to flip randomly, whenever you hit a curve?
No, not that. No, that's my Subaru. That's a different problem. But no, this car will dip as hard as possible, and because the suspension is acting like it's from the 70s, it will dip the opposite direction and attempt to murder me. And I do not hate it. I genuinely am happy with the fact that each car feels differently responsive. Like, I have built 2 top of C plus cars with 1,000 horsepower, and they act so vastly different in how they are. I built an LFA. LFA is terrifying. Do not do the LFA. That car is terrifying. But to even bring us along the point that car is so terrifying, I built an R35 to top of class, and it feels like a whole different horse. It has traction. It corners better. It does everything I need with an all-wheel drive car, and it doesn't want to kill me. Is it slower? Yes, but comparatively to Satan in the corner wants me dead off rip, and I love that. I love that every car, when you build them right, can individually feel so similar, but so vastly different. Like I have a Charger, as I said, the Charger, with the exact same parts on it as an RX-7. Both are in the same class. My RX-7 grips, time attacks, does everything I need it to. Charger does whatever the fuck it wants, and I can't deal with it. I cannot, in good conscious health, say that Charger wants me to live. My RX-7, tame as can be.
Про тебя
It's like
говорит Magnum. Он про тебя рассказывает.
So EA, what's the scoop on this chat, this in-game chat? Are you guys developing that, or what's up?
You talking about the proximity thing?
Proximity or just chat in general, because that'd be great to have instead of me texting all the time.
You are on
the
dude. I just remembered you are on the mobile side, right?
Oh no, I'm on the PC side.
Well, there's chat in the game. What do you mean?
Huh?
There is chat already in the game. You just have to go to game settings and turn it on.
You mean voice chat?
Not voice chat. Not voice chat. Just
That's what we're talking about. We talking about
Yeah, there is a game chat.
Yeah, we talking about voice, not even the proximity. Because I'm tired of texting. I even had a little download.
There's a little accessibility thing where you can turn game chat on.
so you
Like
want to
Forza
know?
don't have it, Crew don't have it. I don't understand why like these racing games don't have it, because that'd be great to have. You know, especially
It is the one game I know that actually has proximity chat. When you're in the when you're playing Lockdown and you go into game chat, you actually do have proximity chat when you pull up on another group.
Yeah, that should be great.
Only game I've seen have it, and sadly, it is not as intuitive as it needs to be because those people are vile and speak like they're playing Black Ops 2.
Yeah, like a racing game, I think that'd be revolutionary right there, because no one has it. And again, it'll connect, it'll keep your people. What you obviously you guys want people to stay in the game longer. That would definitely, as a person that got a short attention span, that would definitely put me in the game a lot more longer. And then, again, those game modes, man, like we need some more
There has to be
So you
firmness added though to deal with so bad people.
So you want to
we
know?
need to have a kick system.
Yeah.
We do need a kick system. We do need a kick system, and but I do want Nitrous, if you would like to join me in this little tangent. This is something my friends brought up, and I think you might agree with since you mentioned the customization. My buddy thought of a really good idea. So, does anyone say it in the chat if you know what I'm talking about? Does anyone here know about the Joe sticker? If you do not, okay, there is a sticker in the game that is a fake Ford logo called Joe's. I'm gonna look at chat and see if anyone has brought it up. Yep, John Doe mentioned it. So the reason I'm bringing it up is a friend of mine brought something very interesting to my attention. That is the only fake car logo in the entire game, other than the fake Nismo logo, which is Zismo. Gotta love that. That's awesome. And then the Nisman, but that's not like an actual car logo. Now,